this is a perfect segue too because it goes into our next subject, which is all about the peripherals and like there's actually a different console we're going to mention in here, but this is
Mm-hmm.
all the weirder kind of stuff for the GameCube. And Wes, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Wavebird first and foremost.
Oh man, the Wavebird was such a great controller.
It was the first wireless controller that worked the way you would want it to work. Because I remember that
Mm-hmm.
very clearly that there was all these third party options for wireless controllers and they were all crap. And then the Nintendo made the Wavebird and it was like, oh no, this works. Like it actually works the way it should for the first time.
Oh yeah, it was spot on, spot on. It felt good. It reacted like you said how you wanted it to. Oh no, the Wavebird was such a great controller, such a great controller.
And the only thing they really missed, and you couldn't even really call it a miss at that time because nobody was really doing it. Is if the Wavebird was rechargeable, that would have been awesome. But just having to have those couple, I think it was AAA batteries, right? Two
I
AAA's.
believe.
Yeah, it had to use batteries, which sucks. But
Mm-hmm.
back then, nobody was really doing rechargeable stuff at that time, anyways.
No,
Not that I
no,
remember.
nope. But yeah, you had that, and then we had the Game Boy player,
Mm-hmm.
which was a separate unit that attached to the bottom of your GameCube,
Yes.
and it allowed you to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games on your TV through your GameCube, but you needed to make sure you had the disc inside the GameCube.
Yes. Now you can get a Game Boy player for probably like 40 or $50, but the disc alone is usually
Mhm.
about $80, I think. So like if people must have thrown those discs away or not known what they were for and lost them because the disc is worth more than the player.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We would get people, trading in their GameCubes with their Game Boy player, but there's no disc.
Right. So it basically makes the player useless without the disc.
Totally useless. But like I said, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
You had your GameCube hooked up. You use your GameCube controller. You just pop in your Game Boy Advance game or Game Boy Color game and play it on the big screen.
It's the way to do it, man. And nowadays, you have the analog pocket where if you get
Mhm.
the dock, you can do the same thing. You just pop it on the dock, play on your TV. Modern
True.
day Game Boy player. Yeah, so the Game Boy player was really really cool. I still have mine hooked up. Still have the disc.
Mhm.
I can still use it to this day, which is awesome.
Yep.
They do also had a lot of different stuff with the Game Boy at this time. If you guys don't, if you forgot, there was a thing called an e-reader, which if we're talking about things that
Mhm.
I unfortunately sold, I did sell my e-reader along with the cards that I had for it,
Wow. Yeah,
which
I
I
remember that.
regret doing. Um, I don't know why the hell I did it. I don't know. I couldn't give you a straight answer, but I did get rid of that e-reader. And one thing I kept though was I kept these cables where you could connect Game Boys to the GameCube and play certain games with them.
Mhm.
Which the one game that really comes to mind is Legend of Zelda, uh,
Four
Four
Swords?
Swords, Four Swords,
Yeah.
yes, hmm
Oh yeah.
and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle, I believe, used that as well. I'm
Yes,
almost
it did.
almost positive it had
It
some
did.
special feature with it.
Yeah, so if you had a Game Boy, you could hook your Game Boy up to your GameCube to like transfer information, do certain things. But your GameCube allowed you to hook up your Game Boy Advance to it, which was different. It was
Yeah,
cool.
and Pac-Man Versus was another cool one that they you could do different stuff with. I think that was when they first showed off the connectivity feature. Was they used a Pac-Man Versus to show you how you could connect Game Boy Advances and use those to see different things from what the player would see on
Mhm.
the screen. Really, really cool stuff, but I don't think people used it that often. I know I had it and I didn't use it that often. How many times did you use your Game Boy cable?
Once.
Yeah. Sounds
Once.
about right, Wes. I think most people were the same boat as you. I definitely
Once.
know I was. It was a cool idea. It just,
Hmm.
I don't know.
And then with The Dreamcast kind of started the whole like online play, and then Xbox got into the mix with their Xbox Live, and then the PlayStation was trying to, get on the online game. So Nintendo followed suit because they gave you the broadband adapter to play Fantasy Star, and Fantasy Star was hugely popular.
Mhm.
Hugely popular.
My understanding is that game is hacked now, and if you have that broadband adapter, you can still play online with people. If you like, go through a bunch of hoops, you can still play that game online,
Hmm.
which is interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was never a big Fantasy Star online player, but people loved it. And when Nintendo came out with their broadband adapter to play it, I just remember people coming in and pre-ordering it and buying it. We were selling it like crazy.
Was there a subscription fee for that, or was it free? Because I don't remember.
I want to say it was free, but I'm not
Okay.
100% sure. I want to say it was free.
Okay. I think it was either free or if they were charging, I think it was minimal. It was probably like $5 or $10 a month or something like that. I don't think it was more than that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think it was a whole lot if they were, but for some reason I want to say it was free.
Yeah, free would make most sense, especially because at that point the GameCube again was struggling. Why would they charge, to get people in the door? The last thing I want to mention with the weird accessories and stuff is the Panasonic Q. Wes had no idea what the hell I was talking about when I brought this up to him, but it
Did
is a
not.
it is a GameCube that's made by the electronics company Panasonic. It was made in Japan, and it was silver, and it has a DVD tray in it where you can actually play DVDs, and this is a very cool looking GameCube. But it's pretty expensive. Uh, they're not super common, but you can find them. You can definitely find them available. And they break a lot. Like that's my understanding. Is like the people who do have them, they're almost always broken, or you're always putting some money into that. So if you guys are going to go searching for one, just keep that in mind. There's a good shot if you buy one, it's probably broken, unless the person has recently fixed it. Um, but it's a cool item to have. I would like to have one. Is it a practical? No. Why would it? Who wants a DVD player in 2023? Right. Other than that, it plays GameCube games. Great. So does my GameCube. So does my Wii. You know. So practicality. There's no point in having this thing other than it looks cool. But check out the Panasonic Q.
Yeah, I had no clue. No clue about it. It sounded like oh man, like the combination Genesis Sega CD that came out. But
Hmm.
yeah, the Panasonic Q, I've never heard of it.
Or the good old 3DO had that Gold Star version that that fine
Yes.
electronics company called Gold Star that made a 3D.
Yes, they did. You had the Panasonic version and the Gold Star version.
God,
I
I had
still
a
have my
Gold Star
Panasonic
TV.
version.
That thing was such a pile of junk, man. It was in like my parents had it like in their kitchen. It was like a 13-inch color TV, and that thing was like the most piece of garbage TV I've ever seen in my life. But go ahead, get your Gold Star 3DO on.